Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games for the Game Pass collection, bringing you two unique perspectives from varying skill range. I am the survivor of this episode, Andrew. With me, the one who gets lost in the atomic wasteland, Keith.
Hello.
And we're doing a two-man show. So, you can yell at Keith here. Anyway.
Yell at me.
Just to remind everyone, make sure you join us on our YouTube and our Twitch. Make sure I'll have the link to our Discord, or link tree, that's what it's called, in the show notes. Come join us in our Discord and our YouTube. Come say hi. But yes, Atomfall. Atomfall is brought to you by Rebellion Development. I thought it was weird. It's just like, it's not Rebellion Studios, it's Rebellion Development. But Atomfall is a first-person survival action game where you are playing a person who woke up in northern England in a bunker in this area that has recently come under the destruction of a local nuclear power plant. And you are trying to unsolve the mystery as to what happened and what's going on. And most importantly, you need to try to get out of this area. But I will start this off. Before I start this off, too, if you have not played this game and you're interested in it and you really don't want any spoilers, we do a very good job trying not to spoil things, but there's a lot of mystery in this game and some things might get spoiled. I would highly recommend that you just go into this game completely blind. Because, if you really want to kind of enjoy the mystery of everything. So make sure you kind of stop after our whole Gamer Pass segment because, like I said, we try to make sure we don't do any spoilers. But some stuff might get ruined and I recommend just going in completely blind. But anyway, for me, Atomfall, this is a game, and it's kind of sad because there was potential for it to be a definite game. The two things that really irritated me with this game were the crafting and the stealth. Like the crafting, this game clearly is trying to be more heavy survival action with a very minimal HUD. Pretty easy time to kill. But the crafting to me was pointless. I didn't care for a lot of things you were crafting, except for the strange potion, but that's it. In the stealth, the enemies, there's no stealth in this game. Like, enemies see you a mile away, and it was very frustrating. But all that to say, I thought the story was good. I like the combat. I really like the graphics and the environment. One thing this game does really well and is really cool, you can kill everybody in this game, and it was kind of fun. But this is a game. Oh, also too, obviously they'll fix it, but I had quite a bit of crashes too. That was also a thing that kind of turned me off. But all in all, Atomfall was a lot of fun. You should check it out. Go ahead, Keith.
So, I guess, yeah, if we want to say they're going to clean it up, that's fair to say, because that's one of my biggest gripes is just the amount of crashes that I had in, I don't even know the comparative hours of what we played.
So you had crashes too. I was curious. You're playing on a Series X, right?
Correct.
Okay, I was curious if it's because I was playing on a Series S, where I'm like, is this the game just struggling with the S? But if it's crashing for you, then yeah, it's just the game.
No, it was just crashing, period.
Okay.
And that's a major gripe for me. Like, I don't really mind it. It doesn't, the way that the gameplay goes or even the autosave works, I should say, like, it's not too much gameplay lost. It's just the utter nuisance of constantly and frequently being kicked out of the game just because you
did you get the audio glitch too?
Oh yeah, got plenty of audio.
Your audio
glitches
just cuts out.
Yeah, so they'll probably fix that, and so that's all great. And so but it's in its current state. That's the fact of the matter. I mean, I didn't even play a ton of hours of this, and I was constantly just rebooting the game, not having audio. Just like, what is going on? So that's a major off-put to the gameplay right off of the get-go. I can definitely see where the story is kind of interesting. I was kind of, I guess, following along a little bit, but there's a lot of different groups, and I overall I wasn't a fan of some of the other aspects of the gameplay too. Just part of it is just, as always, I don't care for survival, the style of these action style survival games. I get annoyed. You give me a gun and I have to worry about how many bullets I use in an SMG. No, let me just pull the right trigger and go to town. Just so overall, the gameplay it just generally doesn't sit well with me, and yeah, so if you can't tell, I would say this is a definitely in its current state a pass. And I don't know, even I guess if it gets cleaned up and all the bugs, for me, it's a pass.
That's unfortunate. But before we get into this, so this game is from Rebellion Development. Have you do you know Rebellion Studios or development?
I mean, I heard you muttering to yourself about it, and I don't, but I already forgot what games you were talking about. I thought you were talking about games they did.
I have like such not a love hate like Rebellion. Anytime I see them, to me, it's like anytime I go into one of their games, I'm like, this game is going to be wildly mediocre. I feel like that's
There's just
always
gonna be
what
something
Rebellion
about it.
does. And like not in a bad way, but that's the thing. Like a lot of their games generally aren't bad. They're usually just a one-off. It obviously makes enough money to keep the studio afloat, but they obviously are making a boatload of money. Their biggest IP that is actually successful, that they actually make a lot of money on, is Sniper Elite.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and so like that's what I'm like. Oh, you could tell. Like when you play their games, I'm like, oh, you can tell they just kind of are a little short on money. Usually graphics takes a hit. They're usually pretty janky. And so that's one thing that surprised me with Atomfall is graphically this game is beautiful, but yes, it is a bit janky, as we kind of talked about with some of its issues. But one thing that was blowing my mind when I was looking at their catalog, they have a huge catalog. They made a
Really?
ton of games, but one of the games they made in 2001. Do you remember Snood?
Holy crap! I
They
do.
made a Snood Game Boy Advance
Oh,
version.
I do remember that, and I remember the Game Boy Advance version.
Really? I only remember the PC version.
I only remember because well, gosh, it would have been probably closer to 2005 when I worked at Best Buy and they had a video game department and I used to stock the video games and there was a Game Boy Advance section and I used to stock and I used to see Snood all the time. It's like this is awesome. I want
They,
this game.
they also made Midnight Club Street Racing for Game Boy Advance.
Okay, yeah, I remember that too.
But yeah, a lot of their games are just mediocre. One game I actually generally loved back in the day on the, I think it was original Xbox, was Aliens versus Predator. Once again,
Okay,
very janky, but I thought that game was actually a lot of fun. And then recently, I know we dabbled in it a little bit, but they did Strange Brigade.
really?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They have such a hodgepodge of just random games. So this is one thing that really surprised me with Atomfall is that this was a Rebellion development game. I was just like, oh, this is like does not look like their usual forte here. But yeah, the story of Atomfall I thought was cool. So this game takes place in the late 1950s. You're in England, like the northern shore area of England, and I don't even know what's fictitious. Probably should have looked up, you know, English geography here before we started this. But
Nobody's heard of the country. It's fine.
yeah, it's a fictitious country anyway. But in a town called Windfall, where you wake up in the middle, this small sleepy town has developed a nuclear power plant and everything's great, and technology is getting advanced and there's robots and automated turrets, so it's even though it's the late 1950s, there's some futuristic elements to it. But of course, like I said, the power plant, something goes wrong and a quarantine gets enacted. Military comes in and quarantine the entire area. You wake up as a random person in a bunker and you're trying to figure out what's going on and you're trying to solve the mystery, but there's also a random phone call that you're getting of a stranger that's kind of giving you directions as to what to do. But yeah, that's I don't
I
want to get too much
just
of the story.
I just wish that somebody would make a, futuristic 50s style game around nuclear fallout and, maybe make like a whole series about it. Maybe do it like a whole bunch of them over different parts of a country. It's really cool to see that they're going with this original idea. I'm glad that this is an untouched idea that they're
Okay,
jumping
you're
into.
being that guy.
What do you mean I'm being that guy? I'm saying I'm really glad that they came up with this concept of, these 1950s futuristic robots and the nuclear fallout and all of those things. I think it's really cool that they're doing that.
Well, Keith,
because it's in England too. We've definitely never seen it in England.
I mean, I know you're being sarcastic here, but what game have you seen in England?
Literally none.
Okay. No, I know you're being sarcastic because you have that goofy smirk. I know you're trying to reference the Fallout series.
What? Holy crap! You're right. The Fallout series is kind of like that, huh?
Well, okay, so I'm going to start off, I guess, with this because obviously a lot of people are saying this, like, "Oh, this is just Fallout in England." I'm already going to say it is not. It is. It is different enough because obviously a lot of people are like, "Oh, Avowed is like Skyrim," and no, that's pretty different. Fallout is way more of an RPG, while this is absolutely a survival action game. As far as the story goes, I don't want to say much because I don't want to spoil things, but it is different. So, yeah, I will say it is not just Fallout in England, Keith, because clearly you didn't beat the game, right? See, I did.
It did. Too busy crashing.
Oh,
But
man.
so no, I'm gonna. Aaron's not here with us, but I'm gonna take a page right out of his book, and I'm sure it explains this as you get into the story.
So you're being original here.
Yeah, I
Accusing this
am.
game of not being original.
I'm stealing it. Yeah, but you know what? I'm being honest about it. I'm owning it. And right away, this whole like, oh, you woke up in a bunker. Who am I? Nobody knows who you are. You just mysteriously wake up in this place, and okay, well, I'm gonna go save everything without any questions asked. Know who I am. Just dive right into this, and I'm sure that they tell you more about yourself, and you find out these things. But I was annoyed just immediately. It's like,
Okay, well, I guess it's a light spoiler, but this is one thing that did irritate me with the story. No, I I had two endings. There's multiple endings of this game, and I still have no idea who I am. That was the only thing that irritated me. Where I'm just like, I feel like they were setting up to something.
that just annoys me even more. Now I don't
I
want to
know,
finish it.
but like I said, there's like 8 endings. There's a
Okay.
lot of different endings.
I'm gonna look
So,
up the one that shows you who you are if that exists, and even then, I'm still gonna be annoyed that I have to
but that
find one of 8 endings to find that out.
But no, one thing that kind of made me laugh, I don't know if you noticed right at the beginning, like I said, you wake up in this bunker and there's a bleeding scientist who like finds you and
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh, where did you come from? Let me start telling you things." Did you ever look around in that area? Where did that scientist come from? You're in a dead end hallway, but the scientist is like coming down like, I got hit from somebody. And it's like, where? Like,
I don't know. Maybe he came back into the bunker from the outside. He was in a hazmat suit, so maybe he was out in the quarantine area. I just I kind of wish I had taken your approach from what was it, Eternal Strands? Was it
Vowed. But I just
Avowed?
started shooting everyone.
Yeah, and just right
Yep.
off the get go with that guy, just been like, you know what, screw
I
this.
actually did.
However, because this is like a survival game, there you pretty quickly can't really do that because if you start killing people, everybody comes after you, and bad things happen real quickly. So
Yes and no.
now I did play on the recommended survivor mode.
Okay.
I don't know if I should have I should have dumbed it down, but
Yeah, that's the thing I thought was kind of funny. When you start this game up, there's like 6 difficulties. Like, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. There's like 6 difficulties, and it recommends the second hardest, which I also did. That was the one I did. Um, and then I started to play again to get some more achievements, so I played on the lowest difficulty. Honestly, I didn't notice too huge of a difference. Like, I gotta say, overall, the game is not very hard. I died from enemies a handful of times through my entire playthrough when I played on the recommended difficulty. Even, but like that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, maybe the stealth sucks in this game because I'm on such a high difficulty. No, the stealth just sucks. Even when I'm playing on a lower difficulty, I still felt like enemies were spotting me a mile away. Um, but yeah,
yeah, well,
as far as the story goes, this is one thing I was really enjoying with this. I know Keith, you're not a story person, but
right.
I'm curious. Did you like that this game really tells you very little? Like, there's a beginning cutscene, but it's like 15 seconds long, and it's like an ad of just like the town of, hey, come to this town, we have a cool nuclear plant, and then does another slide of, oh, the quarantine's being enacted, you know, nobody can come in or out, and then boom, and then you're starting the game. Like that was it. Did you?
I
I liked that the game told you very little.
I mean, again, not really, because it all plays into then you just wake up this faceless, nameless person, no idea who they are. They never even tell you who you are. And yeah, I guess, obviously then learn about the world that you're in. That's annoying. It doesn't, like, there's all these little bits and bobs of information like any of these games are going to do, but I don't know, they all seemed anecdotal at best. I didn't find anything, at least so far that I came through, that I was like, oh wow. It was like,
Oh
this
wow.
guy's angry now. Now he's turning. Okay, neat. I don't know. It was just like weird journal things and nothing really of substance.
See, there is a lot of journals in this game, but all the journals are like a paragraph long,
Yes, they're
so
not long.
not a lot of big reading. But so I will say, at first, I didn't like the lack of information because I'm like, okay, I want to get invested in this world. I don't like what's going on here. And then it kind of dawned on me, specifically dawned on me when I was like, can I just kill anybody? At a big name NPC, I just blast him in the chest, and I'm like, oh, I can kind of do whatever I want in this game. That's when it kind of hit on me where I'm like, okay, this game is definitely just having me put stuff together. Like, I actually felt like a guy with amnesia who just woke up in a bunker. No idea who I am. Some people are talking to me like, oh, no, that guy's bad. But I'm like, I'm going to shoot you instead and just start blasting people. I did not go like in an all killing game like I did in Avowed. Like I said, if you listen to our Avowed episode, my options was if there was ever an option to attack people, I was attacking people. That I didn't exactly do it in this game, but there was a lot of times where I'm just like, I'm gonna just maybe shoot this guy. He doesn't seem right. I was having fun kind of starting to piece stuff together. And then, like as you said, Keith, there's like multiple different factions going on here. Other people like figuring out what to do, how to get out of here, their own motives, and you can kind of side who you want to be with. Are you going to side with the disembodied voice on the phone? Are you going to side with the random doctor that you found in a bunker? There's one that's a person who's a prisoner, but it's like, are they justified for their being arrested? You figure it out. And that's when I was really starting to enjoy this game, where I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool because we'll get to obviously do the achievements, but you can see with the achievements, you exit with certain people, and that's how you get the ending that you want, like multiple different endings. And so I was kind of like, this is cool. Okay. So I was starting to dig like what was going on in this world, especially too with the mystery with the nuclear plant. But I don't want to spoil it.
It's fine. So you kind of have to be into the story, because that's about all this has going on for it, right? Because you said it yourself, the stealth is junk. It's not even jank, it's junk.
It's junk, yeah. I'd say junk. Which is
And
weird because, like I said, they do the Sniper Elite series. The studio knows how to do stealth. And so it's odd that it's just so bad in this game.
now, I didn't get any upgraded guns, and I really was mostly relying on the bow and arrow. And that was mostly what I used for stealth, quite frankly.
Bow and arrow's good.
But again, for a company that does Sniper Elite, the gunplay is terrible, as far as I found it to be. Again, using generally crappy guns. But like overall, the fighting is just it doesn't feel smooth in any way. It didn't feel like it mattered what weapon I was swinging. It felt like I was swinging like a giant log. Just wind up and like, and you have to like. It was all about timing more than anything. Like
A little bit.
there might as well honestly have just been like what's the word? Not cutscene. The
Time event?
quick time events. Thank you. Sorry, my brain went like honestly, the fighting might as well have just been straight up quick time events. It felt like.
Okay, my biggest complaint with the combat is the melee. Like this is the thing I thought.
What is that's that, and it's the fighting, or and it's the shooting, which I just
No, the shooting I liked. I actually liked the shooting in this game. I thought it was cool. It's because it's not Halo. You don't have a billion bullets. It's a survival action game.
Yeah,
you literally have a pocket full of shells.
But it's not Atomfall. That's a survival game.
Yeah, but this is a survival game.
Right. But we're not rating this as a genre. We're rating as a game.
I don't get what you're saying.
So you're saying you liked
It's
that.
Atomfall, the action survival game.
So you're saying that what you liked about the gunplay is that it did what a survival game should do, but that doesn't tell me anything about what makes Atomfall's gunplay interesting or fun. It just did what it was supposed to. It had
What is
limited
this
ammo.
argument, Keith?
My
So you're
point
saying
is,
anytime we play a game that's also like a racing game, like, wow, well, it's not Mario Kart. Like, what are you talking about?
well, no, you said it like it was unique. You're like, well, no, I like what it does, and like it doesn't.
It is pretty unique. Name the last action survival game where you have to count your bullets like this. It's not like they're a dime a dozen. Like, yes, they're out there, but
I'm sure we've played one at least in the last 6 months. If I were to go back,
and yes, and like I said, they're not on like it's like they exist, but it's not like they're a dime a dozen. It's not like a battle royale. We're not playing like a battle royale where every game is a battle royale right now.
I'd argue there's probably more action survival games than there are battle royales right now. But the same token,
Name one, Keith.
I mean, outside of the existing battle royales, I couldn't name you any new ones that are cropping up either.
Oh, I think your argument's stupid.
All I'm saying is you said it as though it was like, oh, I like what they did here. Like it was something new and different, and you've listed to me nothing new or different other than you explained to me that it does what its genre does, and that's fine that you like the genre. There's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't make Atomfall special. It makes it a genre that you like. The gunplay is still junk. The melee is still junk. The stealth is junk.
Agree. The melee sucks. Like, let me talk about the melee because this is one thing I thought was weird. They clearly designed this game more around melee. The only time I used melee was like the first 10 minutes of this game. Basically, as soon as I had a gun, I was able to conserve my ammo and be smart enough with it that I almost never used a melee weapon again, which I thought was odd because you literally have a skill tree of melee weapons. But I'm like, why would I put points in that? I'm not using melee. I wish this game had like a dash when it came to melee because I do agree with you. It's slow. It might as well have been a quick time event, Keith. I do agree with you with that.
Block,
but no, the
parry.
Yeah, there's none of that, which, that's what I mean. I felt like the melee, they wanted it to be a big component of this game, but it was undercooked. But no, the gunplay I thought was fine because this is one thing that's cool. This game has very minimal HUD. Like, yes, you have a little health bar and a stamina bar, but it's gone most of the time. It'll pop up every once in a while, like if you're taking damage. And yeah, so you don't have a bullet count. You have to press X, which is also reload, but you also press X to check your gun so you can look and see how many bullets you have in your gun, which I thought was a nice, cool added element to it.
Okay,
but no,
fair.
I thought the gameplay was good.
So I'll give you that because that's like, okay, they've done something unique there, but overall, it's floaty. It's like, and I get it. It's not supposed to be like action FPS. It's not supposed to be snappy and responsive, but I didn't.
It felt so good using like a shotgun and just shooting a whole shell into someone's chest. The guns to me felt weighty. You said they felt floaty. To me, they felt weighty.
I don't know. I was not. I wasn't a fan.
It's definitely not a game you're running and gunning. You're not Master Chief. You're with a bunch of bullets.
But then, like I said, then I'm trying to stealth around in a bunch of junk stealth where you walk around a corner. It's like there's people seeing you and you can't figure out where they're shooting you from. You can't see them, but they can see you. Turns out there are three floors above you on a tower somewhere that you didn't realize is a tower, and it's just a nuisance. There's nothing fun about the actual combat experience, in my opinion.
I mean, we'll have to disagree on this because I thought it was fun. I mean, okay, but the thing that sucked about the combat, as I kind of said at the beginning, I did not like this crafting system. You have to learn a recipe to learn how to craft things. At first, I was liking this because I'm like, ooh, I'm collecting a bunch of bibs and bobs here, screws and cloth and alcohol, and I'm like, oh, cool. Gunpowder. I might be able to craft bullets. Spoiler alert, you do not craft bullets. That was one thing that was really annoying. But I'm getting all this crafting stuff. But the only thing I ever crafted was just bandages. The thing you learned at the very beginning of the game. I didn't care to make Molotov cocktails. I didn't care to make grenades. I'd just rather just headshot a person. So
Because you
that's
had to choose between, do I want to have a throwable or do I want to have 3 weapons?
you have limited
It
bag space.
again, well, so that, I mean, that one's a survival thing. The limited
Yes.
backspace, annoying, but I get it. That one, it just, like, I'm not gonna fault the gameplay, I'm gonna fault the genre, and it just is what it is. But the inventory management, by golly, and trying to figure out, like, if this was a multiplayer online game, I would get the ongoing gameplay when you try to go into your gameplay menus. But the fact that the world continues around you if you go to pull up your map, which you have to hit the back button and then hit the left bumper to go over to that tab to get to the map. Just anyways, it's fine. It, it's not good. It's not smooth. Like, sure, it's great that I don't have this HUD, but I'm constantly pulling up my map and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And the lead system is not a very good quest system that they put together. It seems like
I like the
it
lead
seemed like
system.
it was going to be really cool. Like, ooh, I'm going to investigate these mysteries. I'm going to take them at my own. I just went with whatever one I could actually figure out where it was. I was like, okay, this one, yep, here's a path I can actually proceed with this. Cool. This is the path I'm taking now. I didn't find I was like trying to do the one that seemed the most interesting. I was just doing what was the most effective.
I was like you at first. When I was playing it too, I'm like, I don't get this lead system. And that's when I was just like, I'm just going to play this game. I'm just going to explore. And every once in a while, it's like, hey, new lead found. I'm like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing.
Neat.
I'm just doing it. And that's what I mean. That's when eventually it later dawned on me where I'm like, oh, I actually feel like someone who has no idea what's going on. And I'm just discovering things and piecing it together. And I just have this notebook that lists these leads and reminds me as to, oh, this path, which you've learned so far, is this. I like that. And the map too is very minimal. It's mostly about coordinates. Every once in a while, something will get highlighted on your map, like, oh, this is the area where your objective is. When an NPC says, I'll mark it on your map. But most of the time, it's like, oh, these are coordinates. And you just have to go to those coordinates. I liked it. It to me, it was once again something different. Obviously, some people like Keith here is going to be upset about it. That I don't have a marker, I don't have a HUD. Why isn't it pointing me? I need someone to hold my hand like a big old baby.
Yep, sure do.
No, I just came in and I was just like, nah, I'm just going to start having fun with this. And I think that's when you really, like I said, that's when it, for me, started to hit me on this game where I'm like, this is fun. When you just start having fun with the game. Like, don't worry about markers, doing objectives. You kind of pick a person that you trust in, like the general or the scientist or whatever. And you're like, I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to follow them. That's what I liked. Because that's the thing. This is not an RPG. Like, I don't even think it's even listed. Yes, you have skills you can get, but I would not describe this game as an RPG. I did not feel like I was actually playing like a role playing game.
Then
So,
why put them in there? This we
okay, that is another complaint. I thought the
let's
skills in
not
this game
just suddenly
sucked.
decide to give it a pass. That, like, okay, we're gonna throw all these aspects and do none of them well. We're not gonna do that. It's they threw in this weird RPG mechanic poorly, and it's an unnecessary aspect of the game. It's just one more tab to click through while you're getting attacked by something.
Man, I mean, that's once again a very typical survival game of like the game not pausing. But but this to me, this is just typical weird jankiness of Rebellion. Because yeah, the skills. There's 4 main categories and 3 rows in each of those categories. You only have 1 row in each of those categories starting off. You have to find in the world manuals that give you new skills you can unlock. But in order to get these skills, you have to find training stimulants, which are these little needles that you can find, which are kind of hard to find. So there's no leveling up like, oh, I killed so many enemies, I leveled up. Which I remember when we played Avowed, people were upset that, oh, when you kill an enemy, they're gone for good. I wish this game did that. There's a lot of times where I'm like, all right, I already cleared this area. They're gone for a while, but then people started showing up again. I'm like, I miss Avowed where people just stay dead. But yes, again, I will give it to you, Keith. I think it is kind of lame with the skill system. The only ones that were very important, which I did not find until the end, was gun crafting, where you can upgrade and make the guns better. Uh, Also, to bigger bag space. Like it's all the same manual. And I was like, man, I wish I found this earlier. But besides that, a lot of the skills is like, I don't care. I really
I
don't
think
care.
the only one I unlocked, I think, was trap disarming. Which
That's very
again,
useful.
I mean, I'm sure it gets more useful if there's more than just tripwires, because the tripwires are like,
No, it's just tripwires.
here's a very clear span that you can just walk around or jump over, and it's very obvious.
Yes.
And you get a little bit of string though when you
And a bomb when you disarm the bomb too.
well, okay, at least there's a bomb, because I was definitely amped to pick up more string when I was maxed out on it all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and it made it a lot easier to not hit the traps that I wasn't hitting when I could disarm them.
Man, you're just so negative with this game. You really just had like, you didn't
It,
find anything
it,
redeeming of this when it
not
came to its
particularly,
gameplay.
again, one of those things is not surprising though, because it is no mystery that me in survival games with like, because I can do some crafting. We do some crafting games and I don't mind them. But survival crafting, I don't care for it. I just get annoyed by the overall lacking of things. And I'm sure again, putting the difficulty lower probably would have given me more supplies and all of that. But I think especially I'm annoyed when there's like an SMG and it's like, well, you have 10 bullets in this SMG, but if you pull the trigger once, half your bullets are gone. That's not even effective. It just makes me it's annoying. At least if you're going to give me a bunch of one-shot rifles and bow and arrows, that's fine. It's a lot easier to conserve your ammo when you have a gun that's built on conserving ammo. It's just annoying in that context. And it's just one small thing, I know. But then on top of that, just on top of that, I'm sure that in 6 months this will not age well. They'll have patched it and it'll be fixed. But when I'm reloading into the game for the third time in a row, because it auto saved me at a spot where I was surrounded by 6 people who were all swinging sickles at me, that I can't because my game crashed. And you go through that process and it's like, what, it's just so nuisance that I'm already having an unfun time playing your game, and then it's just going to crash and crash and crash, and then, oh, the sound cut out. Maybe it'll come back. Maybe it's just someone yelling in the distance for a bit. Who knows?
Man. I mean, that's why she's so negative with this. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised because you are right. I'm literally thinking about other survival games we did. Usually they're horror survival games.
It's true. There's not a horror aspect to this one. This one's a little more like supernatural, it seems like.
There was actually a couple times I jumped though. I turned around and literally a guy's charging me with a sickle. And I went, ah! I blasted. I actually shouted out and like Liz looked at me, and I blasted and completely missed. But no, I don't know. I thought the gunplay was great in this game. I will say, when it comes to the enemies, though, the thing that irritated me was the animals. Every once in a while, like they didn't do a lot of damage, but they were just so annoying. Dealing with rats and bats, and I'm like, get out of here. But
Yeah,
yeah,
the bats annoyed me the most. I was like, I guess it's
that's the
probably
only time I
something
used a
to
melee weapon.
I carried around a melee weapon a lot, I felt like.
I did, but I never used it.
I was getting all right at the timing of like how to wait and like just time them on their lunge, but it just didn't feel good at all. It just felt like, again, I kind of figured out the quick time event and it looked terrible.
um, but yeah, when it came to the crafting, I do not get this crafting system. I learned recipes for a burn salve. Oh, you can stop your burning. Do you know what burns you in this game? A fire
Yourself.
pit. A fire pit, like a regular old camping fire pit that you stand in for 20 seconds. That'll catch you on fire. And then there's a robot with a flamethrower. But there's like a handful of them in the game. So I'm like, why did they give me this crafting recipe to prevent burns when it's not an element I'm dealing with? Same with antidote. Oh, cure poison. Do you know what poisons you in this game? Rats and a mutant plant that's only in like 2 areas. And it's
No,
like,
there's poison bombs they throw at you.
oh,
The
that's right. The druids every once in a while, but like they only threw one at me like once. And it's like, it's weird. I'm like, why do I have these things? And then there's another thing you can craft. I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil things on it. But you literally, I don't think you ever use it. I don't think I've ever encountered it. And I'm like, why is this here? So yeah, I was like you, and I had a full crafting supplies, and I'm like, what am I doing with this stuff? Yes, like that's just the thing that really irritated me. This is like what I mean when I'm playing this game. There's moments where I'm like, this game could have been great. Like I said, I like the combat. I wanted more of this crafting. Like it would have been great if bullets were a little harder to come by and I could craft bullets. I want more things to craft and do instead of making antidotes to stuff that I don't cure ever. So it's like, what am I doing with that? But what I did love though is the graphics and environments of this game are absolutely really good. I was really impressed with this game's graphics. Come on, Keith, let me hear you something negative with this graphics, because you're just negative Nancy over here about this.
well,
Here it
not
is.
weird, uncomfortable teeth.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah,
The just expressions and emotions displayed by NPCs is absolutely all over the place. Some of it's kind of funny, and I would just sit and watch them after they were done talking to you. But really, that's about it. I mean, everything else looked fine.
just fine, man. I see. I thought I was impressed with this game's graphics. The vegetation in this game is really cool, and this whole area has a lot of slate, which is just really sharp, flat, dark rocks. And to me, they did a great job absolutely building this environment. The map is not very large in this game. This is the thing that at first I was like, this sucks. This game does not have fast travel. And that some moments I wish I had it, but overall, this game didn't need it. It's not very large. So it's annoying when someone's like, oh, can you go to Casterfell Woods? I'm like, oh, wait, that's actually just the next server over. I can do that. Just sprint there. And it only would take like 10, 15 minutes. So I like the size of this game because it's all basically surrounded, like I think just about every area can connect to each other. And it's all surrounded by the middle area of the science facility called the intercourse.
Interchange.
I knew I was going to do that. I was like, crap.
Nice.
But yeah, the interchange, which is the main facility, and it's every place is surrounded by it, so you could just kind of go in there and shortcut to areas. But I actually like this game's exploration because of it.
I mean, I was trying to fight through the interchange.
You almost did it
And
too.
I was trying to fight into it, and I had no decent weapons to fight my way in there. I probably could now. Now I've got a couple of guns, bow and arrow, well stocked. I just got something to upgrade my bow and arrow. I think I don't know what exactly. There was some book for the bow and arrow that I picked up.
Oh, I never got that.
Yeah, I'm in.
Well, that would have been nice.
I think I'm in the. I don't know if it upgrades it, but it was something about like draw
Can you craft
control.
arrows?
I don't know. It said something about
I never could.
there was like 3 different skills that I learned with the book, but it was something to do with bows. Let me see if I can look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up too. I'm like, because some of these things, I'm like, the entire time, as soon as I picked up the bow, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be able to create arrows. Never did. Shiv, Molotov. Nope. Do not make arrows. And you do not make bullets. That was the other thing too. I'm like, I want to make bullets. You never do.
Yeah, bow mastery is what I got. It was, let's see, what is bow mastery? Add draw speed, increases bow draw speed, but you still have to unlock these things as everything.
Yeah.
Draw control, heart rate no longer has an impact on draw duration for bows, and bow focus. I'm gonna praise the game here, and it's weird because I actually saw a couple complaints about this. I liked the heart rate system as far as stamina goes.
Yeah.
Biggest reason, it gives you a pretty long runway before you like run out or hit your max for it, and it doesn't overly like come to a screeching halt. It's just more
Yeah.
of a nuisance than anything. You go a little slower and your controller vibrates and your screen pulses like black around the edges, but that's it. And like you could still you couldn't fight, I don't think. You'd have to wait, but it would go down quickly. Either way, I I I actually have praise for the stamina system. But yeah, the stamina system, it apparently that's one of the things with the bow, and then bow focus. Yeah, press left stick and shift while the bow is fully drawn to briefly slow time. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Uh, like I said, pro tip for me, like I said, one of the things I wish I had early on was be able to upgrade your weapons. I had a pristine weapon, got the achievement for that, and it improves its accuracy, its damage, yada yada. I wish you could craft a scope on a gun. You can't do any of that. But I did enjoy being able to get a better gun. I actually recommend maybe if you don't want spoilers, I guess don't do it. But I googled it. I'm like, how do I upgrade my gun here? Because clearly you can tell because it's like, oh, this gun is rusty. This gun is stock. So I'm like, all right, well, there's clearly different grades. So how do I upgrade a gun? So that was the only thing that kind of annoyed me a little bit. With like, I just wish some of that stuff was a little more clear. But okay, the other question too that also perplexed me with this game, talk about graphics and the environment. I could not figure out when this game kind of takes place. As I kind of said, it's supposed to be, as far as I'm seeing everywhere, late 1950s. People are saying, oh, the quarantine's been in effect for about 5 years. Okay. My question is, why does everything look like it's been degrading for hundreds of years? Does England just look like that? Is there just like rusted cars in the middle of the road with vegetation growing out of it?
I mean, if everything stopped running, like, I mean, obviously it's all like hypothetical, but you ever see those videos where it's like, if basically if humans just died off, now obviously humans aren't just dead in this game because you are one there, but it's like if humans died off, it's like within like a year, basically everything would be overgrown with vegetation because it's just, I don't know,
Yeah.
like how quickly it would be. So like that actually might not be all that unreasonable. I don't understand why there's not a single running vehicle anywhere in the game that I could tell, except for robots. So they can get these walking robots, but they can't get a Jeep running.
Yeah. Well, not only that, you go into bunkers and all the bunkers too are all rusted and dilapidated and vegetation. To me, that makes no sense. Literally, the bunker you're starting in, you enter and it's like clearly looks like it's been hundreds of years. Moss everywhere, plants and trees in a
Yeah.
bunker. And it's like, how does this happen?
Yeah,
That was
that's
the
kind
only,
of odd.
and I was hoping the story would kind of explain. I was starting to have some theories. Once again, like I said, I haven't done all the endings. Maybe my theories are right. I think I might at the end go on a rant here on some of the spoiler stuff. So I might do some spoiler cast at the end. But yeah, that's just a little bit of my complaint where I'm just like, what? But it's very minor because overall, though, I love the graphics of this game. I thought the environment's really good. I did have some graphical issues too, though. There was some tearing, and every once in a while, like when I was in the interchange,
There
there
you
was
go.
vents,
Got it.
and they would sometimes disappear, and I could see like the entire like outer world of the map, and it's like, well, that's not right. But besides that, though, graphically though, it worked really well. And it's also too a nice change of pace. Like there's not a lot. It's surprising. There's not a lot of English games, and this game is very British. Man, the NPCs and all the stuff you're finding, all their British accents. I was kind of hoping Liz would be on this episode because she would probably try to do her impression.
British accent.
She loves doing a British accent. But yeah, as far as the audio goes, though, this is I actually really like this game's audio. The music, there's not a ton of it, but I enjoyed it. Voice acting is passable. Not great, not bad. Some people were kind of like, this is a little weird. But I actually loved the gun sounds. I don't know if you noticed, knowing you, Keith, you didn't. If you shoot a gun when you're in like one of the more canyony areas, like Slate Dale, the very starting area, there's a
Yeah.
lot of cliffs. There's an echo. It actually has a gun echo when you're shooting it. And I was like, this is actually really cool. Same with if you're inside into the interchange, there'll actually be an echo. And I'm like, this is actually a really cool sound. Even
I mean,
people's voices
that's
too will have an
if your
echo.
audio is working.
That's true.
But
Okay, besides that glitch where it just drops out and you have these weird sounds coming. Yes. We covered that already though, Keith.
so when it worked, it sounds like I'm right.
God, you sound like this was like this is your soccer story here.
No, I mean definitely not that. I don't know if you're gonna bring me a genre of game that I don't like, at the very least, bring me one that works.
It works. Okay, because this is what when it came to crashing, I always noticed it in spurts. I
It was
noticed
in
it'd be like,
it was in loading screens.
oh, it never crashed to me in loading
It was
screens. It was
almost
always in the
always
middle of
loading,
fights.
which is good. It can't handle any action. If only just make them quick time events, and then it would slow down the action, and maybe they could handle it.
No, yeah. So anytime it crashed, I will say I praise this game's loading. When it crashed, I could boot the game up pretty quickly. But yeah, I always noticed it happen in spurts of like crashing during kind of a fight, and that'd be good. Multiple fights, I'm good, I'm good. So it was always just these weird focused moments of just weird random crashing. But I don't know. I feel like he just. Yeah, I feel like this is just the worst for you. As far as achievements go, though, I love the game's achievements. I thought the achievements were really good. There are a bunch of hidden ones. If you don't want spoilers, they're not that big of spoilers, as I already kind of said. They're just how you do different endings. So you can kind of see who you can side with to get an exit out of. But it's also not hard. It's pretty easy. Basically, because there's a lot of unnamed NPCs. Outlaw, Druid, Protocol Soldier. But as soon as someone has a name, you're like, I bet you I could get out of here with them. They probably will give me an ending. So you don't need to reveal stuff, but the achievements though were all manageable. I have like 26 of them with over like 600 gamer score. I beat the game. Oh, I forgot to mention, yeah, time to beat. You're looking between 9 to 13 hours. This is not a very long game. There's actually an achievement to beat the game, to exit, to get an escape in under 5 hours, which I'm kind of doing right now. None of the achievements are locked behind difficulty as well. So just lower the difficulty. And yeah, there's no achievement to beat the game on the hardest difficulty.
I say maybe that's the play then. But even still, I well, I'll just wait for my wrap up. I'll just put it in a package here.
Fine. We'll end this misery for Keith. All right. I'm going to start for Atomfall here because nobody wants to hear what Keith's negative sob story over here is. Atomfall. As I said, this is a game. I thought for sure a lot of people were saying this right at the beginning. It's Fallout England. It's different enough. I would not describe this game as Fallout in England. It's not an RPG. It's a survival action game. I liked its elements, what it's doing. Like I said, there was moments where I thought this game had moments to be a great game, but there's just parts of it that fell short. I liked the minimal HUD. I liked the lead system. I liked where I was just living in this world as a person with amnesia, figuring stuff out. Who do I trust? Who do I don't? Do I trust even myself with these weird phone calls I'm getting? Is this a voice in my head? So I liked where this world was building with its mystery. I thought some of its mystery, though, fell a little flat, which disappointed me. But overall, though, I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun with it. There actually was times where when I put it down, I was like, I can't wait to pick it back up again. I want to continue. And knowing that this game was only like a 12-hour adventure also was a huge plus for me. I loved that I know not because if you're playing something like Fallout, you're looking at 40 hours. This was 12 hours. This was great. This was a nice, not a weekend palate cleanser, but a week palate cleanser where you could just kind of jump in and out of it all week long. I just thought a lot of the systems in this game was just a little underdeveloped. The RPG, the crafting, the stealth, that could have been improved. But overall, though, Atomfall I thought was a unique, interesting, fun package. If it wasn't for the crashes, I'd probably put this in an 80. But for the numerous crashes I had, which got very irritating sometimes, I'm giving this a 75.
I mean, honestly, you talking about Anvil, or no, you talking about Atomfall is like me talking about Anvil, and like all of these defenses of the gameplay because you just really, really like the genre. You remember Anvil? Remember how much
Yes, I
you
do.
hated that game? And you're like, well, they didn't do this, and they didn't do that, and they didn't do this. And you know what? Largely, I agree with you. A lot of the systems that they put into that game were kind of half-baked. They weren't great. But I was defensive of them because I liked the genre, I liked the gameplay, and that did it for me. That's what Atomfall is for you. You're like, well, I really like survival horror games, or not horror games in this way, but I really like action survival games. So I really like that it had this and it had that. The mystery itself, you just said yourself, kind of fall flat, despite being pretty good. They fall flat. So the story is, we'll say, even a B plus. We'll give it a glowing review from you as a B plus. But it's got crafting systems that make no sense because you really only need to craft one item. You've got a limited bag space, which is normal, but whatever. The RPG system that isn't really an RPG system because this isn't an RPG is half baked and a nuisance because you have to find the skills to unlock them. The math about how many training stimulants you need to get these things doesn't make sense, and unless you actually open the menu and go to that tab, you don't really understand what a training stimulant does because it doesn't tell you that unless you go to it. The combat kind of stinks, which is honestly, that if you ask me, that's endemic of really any survival game. The hand-to-hand combat's always a little bit, you're supposed to be like a little bit flaily and I don't know, ability to die all the time. I didn't like the gunplay. Andrew did, but it reinvented the survival gameplay by giving you limited ammo. We've never seen that in a survival gameplay.
My God, Keith.
And then
It's
on
like
top
you
of that,
complain about a football game being, oh, there's too much footballs in it.
no, I have a lot to complain about in modern day football games, but it's not the footballing. But then you have the stealth. The stealth is your final thing. So and that's bad, and that's just bad. It's not good. It's not good at all. So even if you really want to get into this mediocre B plus story, all of the mechanics that get you from point A to point B in the story are pretty much not good. And that's my biggest gripe. Sure, the map is small. Sure, you can wrap it up in a 12-hour package, but they want you to replay it 8 times. So that's a
What if you
ton of
save right?
okay. You're still talking now, this is, you have to really love the game. 40 plus hours probably. I don't see it. I don't see it in any capacity. And then it crashes. Oh, and then it crashes. On top of all that, you take this nice mediocre package of nothing, of no mechanics baked into anything that are really a semblance of anything quality. They're just a bunch from there. They're a hodgepodge that are thrown at you, and then it crashes on you. Oh man, it's great. Give me more of this game.
I have a feeling you're gonna piss some people off here.
Give me more of this gameplay in my life. 66.
Jeez.
Honestly, I was probably
Alright.
going to go with like a 70, but then you said 75, and I was like, geez, Andrew actually liked this game, and he's giving it a 75.
Like I said, I don't. Some of the things you are complaining about, I don't think you're completely wrong, but you're not entirely right either, though. But
We
anyway,
wouldn't do this if we agreed on everything, right?
yeah. So I'm going to go a little bit more into spoilers, and I want to talk more about my time and adventures with it. I like I said, I'll go in a little more of some of my complaints. So if you don't want any spoilers at all, get on out of here. See you again next week.
Just giving me more ammunition. Let's do this.
But one of the crafting items I really wanted to complain about.
The tonic?
No.
No.
Radiation. Radiation tonic. Keith, did you ever find it odd that you're in a world where the nuclear power plants exploded, but you weren't reading any radiation?
Strange. Yeah. I mean, in
So why
Fallout,
the
that
heck do I
was
have a
kind of
radiation tonic?
the whole mechanic. Well, because if they threw in the radiation mechanic, then people would really think it's like Fallout.
So I don't know if you've kind of figured it out, but with the whole nuclear plant, it's not nuclear. Which is why I like the story, because I'm like, hey, that's a kind of a cool twist. And then you kind of start to learn about it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But still, why would they create this item? Just to have a red herring? Because, like I said, you have these other things, a poison, an antidote. You encounter it a little bit, not very often. I don't think I ever encountered radiation. And I'm like, why is this in the game?
Is it most what, like the spores? But the spores aren't radiation.
No, they're infection.
Right. Okay.
So it's like, what the heck is this? But so how far in the story were you siding with anyone in the story?
No, I had just met. Well, not just met. I had met the bunker lady.
Dr. Garrow?
Yep. I've met the
Or are you talking about Joyce Tanner? She was
Tanner.
also in a bunker.
Yes,
Okay.
Joyce Tanner was the one that I met, and then I met the old lady.
Mother Jago.
Yep, the head of the protocol guy.
Captain Sims.
Yep.
Did you kill any of them?
No.
See, that's one thing I actually had a lot of fun doing. Saving the game, killing them, because they usually have some sort of note on them. And they kind of give you, like, you can kind of read what their motives are, and then just load your save again. So you could be like, okay, you read the guy saying, you learn what Atomfall actually is, and you're like, oh, okay. So then you could be
Okay.
like, well, do I want to side with this person or not? So that's the thing I really liked about this game. I love that I could just kill anybody. I literally just, I don't like you. Shotgun blast right in the chest. All right, you're out of the story. And I like it kind of gives you a pop of like, so and so's dead now. And it's like, yep, they're done. Even the shopkeepers. I like the bartering system where you actually have like a scale and like kind of figuring stuff out.
That is kind of an interesting mechanic. We
Yeah.
didn't touch on that.
Don't want to barter them? Shoot them and steal their stuff. Like, I thought that was actually a really cool thing. Like these were the moments where I'm like, this game has a potential to be really good. But I do agree with with the story. Because also too, like the robots. Did you fight any of the robots?
I didn't end up fighting any robots. No.
They just weren't. There's two kinds of robots, and they weren't hard to cheese. They could kill you very easily. This is the thing I thought was kind of funny. The atomic batteries, they made it seem like these are the holy grail. They are very hard to find. You gotta jump through
Yeah.
hoops to get an atomic battery. I ended the game with like 8 atomic batteries in my stash, and I didn't need them anymore. I fully powered up the interchange, and I'm like, I don't need these batteries anymore. What am I doing with these things? But I don't know. I'm curious if it is just a story by the end of it. I was like, that was fun. But I don't know. I could see where I guess this game would not change for you at all.
No, because like I said, at the end of the day, even like you talking about the story and how they play that out, that's sort of interesting. But ultimately, it was none of the gameplay wanted me to get to that point in the story. Like I think that's the biggest thing. It's a very weird thing. Story never drives the game for me, but I can be interested in a story if the gameplay goes along with it. Like it's just the gameplay still has to be there. If I don't want to play the game to find out what's happening between point A and point B in the story, there's nothing that story is going to do that's going to intrigue me.
There was never a game where the story drove you.
I mean, because I was talking about it with someone today, like what remains of Edith Finch, because and that's like a walking simulator. I just really wanted to keep going with the story, but in a game like this where I'm so just over the gameplay, I don't think there's anything the story could have done that I would have been like, gosh, I got to keep going in this. That was part of the reason when you asked about recording, and I was like, I'm just not going to really play this game much more, anyways. Oh,
All right. Well, I guess we can just wrap it up here now then. Thank you all who are still hanging around. I'm sorry if I spoiled things for you. I try to warn you. But check out Atomfall. Don't listen to Keith. But yeah, come join us. Oh, I forgot to also give shout out at the beginning. I literally pulled it up, Keith, and I said I need to do it. Thank you to two of our listeners. We had AC Wasson, who recommended we played this game, and Potato. They both asked that we play Atomfall. So yeah, Keith, you got to give him a rating, Keith.
I don't think I've hated a game from a listener request this much in a while. It still wakes the deep listener request.
Yes.
That feels like that might have been about one of the last ones that I was just like, man, I can't stand this game. I mean, potato heads. I mean, it made me laugh when Andrew said it. So immediate 93, and then I can't give a lesser score if I'm going to rate two listeners at the same time. Whoever, what was that?
AC Watson.
AC Watson. You get a lucky 93 thanks to potato, because otherwise the gameplay wasn't going to do it for you this week. Potato made me laugh, and so you both get a 93.
All right, everyone. I'm your hardcore gamer Sandra. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952. Like I said, come join us on our Discord. Me and Keith are on there a lot. We love sharing memes, talking stuff. Not even just Game Pass. You know, we have some listeners that draw art stuff. We have an art section. Oh my gosh, I really need to send out some
We have
prizes.
Cran Mango. Even though Cran Mango does exist in the world.
Cranberry Mango, if you are listening to this, my friend, I love your commitment to the bit. But you need to stop with the Cranberry Mango. It doesn't exist, man.
Can't buy that at a store.
Yeah, I love our Discord. It's a ton of fun. Make sure you join us. Same with our YouTube. We record these episodes on Wednesday. Always live, so come on by, say hi. But yeah, thank you all. Keith, just say bye. I'm not even letting you say anything.
Sounds good. See you later.
Love you all. We'll see you again next week.